Welcome to Astrology of the Leo Moon, Restorative Yoga. My name is Beth. I am a holistic coach, a continuing education provider with Yoga Alliance, an astrologer, a Pranayama for practical purpose guide, a deep, deep lover and moon mama of the moon wisdom. And because of that, I have created these classes based around the wisdom that the moon provides us every day. Every day we live under the magnificent moon. Every day we are able to receive the wisdom of the invitation to rest, the invitation to go with the flow, to go within and connect with our emotional space. So, if you haven't noticed, we kind of have a major deficit of not only emotional health in the world, but also our spiritual health. It is not a mental health crisis. It is not the mind thinking that got us into the mess that we might be in. It is that's going to get us out of it. It is the feeling and the knowing, the deep intuitive trust that is innately within us all that's going to help us get where we want to go. We'll manifest the things in our lives that we want. And many of us struggle with not having had the gentleness, the calm, the peace, the healthy communication that we craved as young ones. And we really deserved. And because of that, and for many other reasons, environment, genetics, you name it, we find ourselves in spaces where we don't know how to navigate our lives. And it's letting me know that this class is happening. And so the whole basis for my being, my purpose on this planet is to bring more rest, more ease, more calm, transmutation of pain into our purpose and ways that are very simple and repeatable into our lives so that we can heal ourselves. I know that we are all our own healers, our own gurus, our own guides, and we have the entire universe of spirits and higher power and angels and ancestors and past lives and entities and loved ones, animal guides, all here for us all the time. The biggest mistake that I made, or the biggest misunderstanding that I held in my being for the longest time, was that I don't have any support. I don't have any guidance. I don't know what I'm doing. And therefore, because I don't know, I can't affect the changes that I want in my life. I am powerless. When in reality, I always have. I just never asked for that support. And so tonight we are under the blessing of the Leo moon. It's the middle of the 3 nights that the moon is stationed in the sign of Leo. The misunderstanding of the Leo archetype is that it's an adult already and it knows everything and everything is fine and there's harmony in the animal kingdom and the universe, and that we're all grown up already. So what the trick to Leo energy is that it's actually very playful and youthful and fun and likes to take center stage and be seen and take the mic and do a dance or tell a joke or share its skills and strengths and wonders with a crowd. And my North Node is in Leo, so I'm embodying that energy with y'all tonight. And I'd like to welcome you into a space of inviting yourself to take a journey to meet your inner child or your inner children. If you have never done that before, it's a great place to start. If you have done it before, this is just a nice space to practice. And with the restorative elements of slower, longer hold times with this type of yoga, is that we're going to allow ourselves to open up the heart, the front and the back of the heart. And then we're going to check in and we're going to bring our pranic life force energy from the air ether space of Vata, or the air signs in astrology, Gemini being the key one. And we're going to bring our energy center down to our lower chakras, our Muladhara and Swadhisthana. Already I'm getting grounded, right? To connect with our breath, to slow us down and get into more of a feeling space as opposed to the thinking space that we so often are kind of caught up in. Benefit of the air space is that it's very adaptable and we can change at any given moment because we don't have any structure when we're in that energy. But the Leo energy brings us grounding. It brings us solid earth that we are comfortable in and that we can play in. And so tonight's class will be kind of a mix, half and half, of restorative postures to open up parts of the center of the body, the heart chakra, anahata, from 360 degrees. And then we're going to play a little bit and we're going to work with pranayama that draws the energy down. And then we're going to come into a longer form meditation that will be a journey to meet your inner child or your inner children and just get to know them a bit. And hopefully you enjoy it. What's a really nice practice to do either now while you're, listening to the setup, or after the class, is to make a list of all the things that you're proud of yourself for. So that's the beauty of this prideful, but also playful Leo moon energy in our emotional realm. And it might be nice to just take a look at the things that you've accomplished, either in the physical action realm or things that you have overcome emotionally, ways that you have enhanced your connection to higher power, to spirit, to source, to your angels and ancestors and guides. And try to look holistically at you as a whole person, not just, do I have this job or this prestige, but that I have so much, I've built so much. I'm on this pride rock looking out over everything that I've accomplished in my life so far and all that I stand to accomplish moving forward. So with that said, let's move into lying on our backs. Tonight you will need either a bolster, a long pillow, or some blocks. Blocks can be used as well. The foam ones I always recommend for restorative. They're just nicer on the body. But for first, we're just going to lay on our backs and bring our knees up so that our knees are bent. And you can lay on like a flat pillow. I always recommend being in your bed for these classes, but if your bed is not the best place for you, that's also fine. So we're just starting out here, and I'd like to invite you to place one hand on your low belly, so your fingertips down by your pubic bone, your thumb kind of around your belly button, and then one hand just resting, your elbows resting, your arm is bent on your collarbones or your heart, your chest. We're going to breathe and you're letting go on your inhale. You're letting go of the whole pelvic floor, the muscles of the pelvic floor, the perineum muscle, and just releasing everything as if you're allowing yourself to urinate and you're filling up your belly. Make the belly really big and see if you can hold it in your hand. Like it's so pronounced that you fill up your palm with your belly. And then on your exhale, contract mula bandha, or that perineum muscle, the pelvic floor muscle, like you're trying to stop yourself from urinating. And then let your belly sink or draw it back. Next inhale, release mula bandha and fill up the belly, and then let the kind of the belly button and the lower ribs expand. And then as you exhale, contract the perineum muscle, draw the belly back under your palm, and draw the ribs down a little bit. Again, inhale, release the pelvic floor muscles. Let the hips kind of rock forward. Fill up the belly, let the ribs rise. Maybe you feel some breath up around your heart space, upper ribs. Exhale, contract the perineum muscle, draw the belly back, draw the ribs down. So we're moving in an upward direction with every breath, contracting every chakra center as we breathe in and as we breathe out. So inhale again, release the pelvic floor. Let the hips rock kind of forward, anterior pelvic rotation, feel the belly, the ribs, and maybe you feel breath all the way up in your chest. Maybe not, but maybe you feel this top hand kind of lift a little bit. It's like microscopic movement. And then when you're ready to exhale again, contract the pelvic floor, draw the belly down, the ribs down, the chest kind of sinks. The head is heavy. As you inhale, release the pelvic floor, hips tilt forward, belly expands, ribs, chest. Maybe you feel the breath all the way up in your throat. Exhale to the same place. Contract the pelvic floor, belly back, ribs down. Maybe the back of your neck can kind of flatten on the floor and the chin can come down a little bit. So you're really emphasizing the space in your throat, the Shuddhi chakra. Inhale, release the pelvic floor. Let the belly expand, the ribs expand, the heart expand, the head tucked a little bit, and then imagine that the breath is coming all the way up to the Ajna chakra between the eyebrows. Exhale to the same place between the eyebrows. Engage the pelvic floor, belly back, ribs down, chest sinks, throat is solid. Maybe the breath is up to the third eye. Inhale that same pattern, release and fill up all the way up to the top back of the head. Now you're imagining the breath coming directly behind Ajna to that point at the back of your head, like the tuft of hair. Exhale to that same point and draw the belly back, draw the ribs down, let the chest sink, let the throat be heavy, let the breath go through Ajna all the way back to Bindu, top back of the head. Inhale. Now we're going to expand and go all the way up to Sahasrara. So release the belly, the pelvic floor, let everything fill up. It's like you're like a big balloon, but the breath is coming up through the throat, through Ajna, back to Bindu, and up through Sahasrara. Crown chakra. And then exhale, same thing. Breath travels all the way up. So engage the pelvic floor like trying to stop yourself from urinating. Draw the belly back, the ribs down, let the chest sink, the throat get heavy, the third eye, the back of the head, and then up through the crown. Up the exhale. Release and just breathe naturally now. You can place both hands on the belly and see if you can imitate that same pattern of breathing. Inhaling, breath comes from the root all the way up to the crown. And then exhale, engage Mula Bandha, draw everything back. It's traveling all the way up through the crown. So you're actively choosing to consciously draw the breath through all of the chakra centers. And then from here, keep breathing in that way. It's called Agni Raj breath, the king of the fire. So you're kind of mastering your own prana, channeling it through all of the chakras with every breath in an upward direction. It's counterintuitive. So we're not thinking, we're just going to feel it and do it. And as you breathe, lift your feet up. So you're kind of playing on the ceiling. We're coming into a happy baby here. So we're just going to play. So you can grab the back of the knees or thighs. You could grab the calves. You can grab the ankles. And you can kind of bend the knees back further towards the shoulders. You can, if you're not wearing socks like me, you could do like a yogi toe lock with your two fingers, two first fingers, and your thumb, and kind of hang on to your big toe. Knees have to be really bent, probably. Just guessing here. You still see me? Hope you can. Or you can grab the pinky toe edge, if that's not too crazy. And you can just play here. We're going to play here for 5 whole minutes. We're playing. We're having some fun. So go to it. You know, babies, we're going to connect with our inner child in our meditation tonight. So we're going to use this 5 minutes to just kind of give ourselves whatever we need as we breathe still through that Agni Raj breath. It's a lot easier to exhale when your knees are pulled all the way back towards your chest. It also might be more uncomfortable to inhale, right? Your legs are so squished down. So maybe it feels better to just grab behind the knees and maybe even interlace your fingers if that feels good. You have to be the judge of this, right? What do you need in this moment? Is more active, kind of engaged breathing what your being needs right now? Or is it more of a relaxation and letting there be less pressure on the belly? You know, depends on how much you ate for dinner, what the belly feels like, what time of month it is for you and your cycle. And we're gonna just play. So this isn't like strict happy baby, you know, feet parallel to the ceiling, holding on, knees bent directly back towards the armpits, shoulders down, chin tucked. We're gonna bring more ease into it by just like going with whatever you feel. So, like, this feels really good to me right now to just like roll over to the side. Gotta make sure you can see my head. Can you see my head? Yeah. Okay. So I'm like, oh, it just feels nice. And we're gonna keep the breath. So with every exhale, I engage from the base of my spine to my low belly, to my ribs, my chest, my throat, third eye, back of the head, top of the head. When I inhale, maybe I come back to center. So I release Mula Bandha. I let the belly fill. I let the ribs expand, the chest and heart open up. I let the throat open, the third eye, the back of the head, the top of the head. When I exhale, I do the same. I draw the belly back. It doesn't sound like it's all that much because it's just energy, being conscious of the energy flow and the direction, but it can be really tiring. So, you know, take it easy on yourself. And if you want to just relax into the breath and not really breathe so consciously let yourself, maybe your inner child is saying, like, hey, stop with all these processes and trying to teach me something. I got something to say to you. Right? We have to remember that we're here on this planet to have fun and play, not just be such serious adults all the time. So it might be a nice act of rebellion, of adulting, to just not do what I say. Not do the Agni Raj breath, not try to be the king of your prana, like the adult Leo the lion on Pride Rock, and just like say instead, like make fun of yourself. It might be more actually productive for you than it might be to focus and breathe, and just maybe you just see in your mind's eye the breath traveling up the spine to the top of the head, and the breath traveling up the spine from the root to the crown when you exhale also. Maybe that alone, just the visualization. Maybe the physicality is too complex right now. But whatever you do, definitely try to put a toe in your mouth. I cannot. I don't know if I would ever be able to reach my mouth with my toe. Oh, maybe. Oh, no. And I'm not gonna, you know, break my back in the process. But do play, do move, do roll around. Babies feel the world with touch. They feel, they learn by feeling and tasting, and they can't even really see color or shape just yet. So it's just like this exploration of, like, what is this thing that I'm in? What's this? They were just swimming around in the soup of the of the uterus for a while in the starry cosmos. And now it's like, whoa, we're in the world. What's going on? So we can play with what shapes can we make with this funny thing called a body, and like, oh, look at that. I have a foot. What is that? Look how it moves. Oh, look at these toes. They wiggle. Look at my hands. They wiggle like my toes. Oh my gosh, I have a hand. I have a foot. I have a leg. I have a knee. Oh, what feels good? Move like that. I'm getting so ahead of myself here. Okay. So we're playing, and then we're gonna let those legs relax and dangle and just outstretch for a moment. Ah. So now take that pillow or block or bolster, place your feet on the floor or your bed. Inhale and lift your hips up. Let your belly fill your hips up. And then try to slide that pillow. I can't even get that high. Try to slide that pillow underneath of your hips. So now you're really focusing the back of the neck onto the floor, and we're really opening the whole front of the hip flexors. Oh my goodness, does this feel awesome? This is like one of the greatest treats of restorative, because we sit and we drive and we sit some more. We're so like crunched over all the time. So happy baby sometimes can be a lot of pressure. So here we're just letting all of the front of the hip flexors, the belly, the psoas, just let it expand and be open. And notice how the throat feels. So as we're breathing, this chakrakasana, this restorative chakrakasana, which is wheel, right? We're in this like supported semi-wheel pose where as we breathe in, It's literally, we can feel the breath coming up over the belly, up over the ribs, over the chest and heart, back into the throat. And we kind of like cut it off there. But you can still imagine continuing to breathe into the third eye, the back of the head, and the top of the head. And then as you exhale, draw that belly back. It's really hard to draw it back, right? When it's in this big arch, it's super hard to engage not only the root, but the swadhisthana, the sacral chakra, the belly, the ribs, oh, the chest. Oh, as you breathe out, make that like ujjayi hissing sound. Breath leaves from the third eye, leaves from the back of the head, leaves from Sahasrara finally. Keep breathing like that. And if you want to, you can bring your hands to your belly, or you can bring your arms up over your head to kind of get a nice stretch under the armpits and let the shoulders relax. That can feel really nice. Oh. And it's like opening up all the musculature of the womb space. So if you want to already place your hands over your belly, the fingertips are going to be down towards the pubic bone. Everything's kind of stretched out when we're laying like this. So there's not as much specificity in the placement of the hands. So if you place your thumbs just like lightly touching over your belly button and place your fingertips down by your pubic bone, you'll create like this downward pointing triangle shape. And that's what we're going to come back to when we get into Bastrika or bellows breath before we do our inner child meditation. But from here, you can just start to begin to feel what it feels like to let the belly expand fully. How much can you expand the belly? And then as you exhale, how much can you really contract and pull it back? Inhale, get a big breath. Exhale to pull it back. And just keep going, especially if you got a little tired or bored or sick of the full Agni Rash breath, as we children can, like, I'm bored. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't like this. I don't want to connect with my body. That's fine. You don't have to. You can do something else. You could also bring in the happy baby if you want and like let the legs just hang out or let them play around. Please make this your fun, your practice, especially because we're working with inner children tonight. Like, make it what you want it to be. You could bring the soles of the feet together. It's more of like a goddess pose, bring more energy to the root chakra, Muladhara, or just stay. These are all options. You choose which one works best for you. Ah, loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it. So you can also call to mind as we like lie here and open up, especially this like hip central area. Like there's a lot of memory stored in the hips. There's a lot of perhaps samskaras, we call them in yoga, these challenging memories. And maybe we can start to replace them or rewire the neurons in our brain to call to mind, again, the things that we're proud of. So it's something that you're just really proud of that you've accomplished. I've just come over a year, over 365 days in sobriety of many things. And, I'm super proud of that. So I'm going to shine my heart light all over myself and just recognize, like, you did that, baby girl. You did that. You're so strong and smart and committed and sensitive and passionate, and it took so much for you to do that. And you did it. Good job, sweetie. Good job. Great work. Great work for yourself, for no one else. Hmm. And now we're going to shift to opening up the front of the heart. You can shift this cushion, or you can take a block and remove the cushion. Either way, let's roll over and come off of the cushion, and then we're going to move it back. I just need to get some agua. Move it back so it's under the back of your heart. So if you have blocks, you can just take one. You don't need both, just one block, and that's kind of the back center of your heart. I'm going to assume most people have a pillow, because if you're in your bed and not the blocks. And you're just going to have the cushion be behind the heart space. So if you're female and you wear a bra, either way, if you wear a bra, it's kind of like at your bra line. A good other measure is your arms are over the back of it so that it's kind of under your armpit. It's coming out there, and you're just going to lie back. So it's kind of nice to have another pillow or a block to support the head, any height, it doesn't matter. We're just opening into that chest space, the anahata, the heart. And we can let the arms come out to the sides. We can let the arms kind of goalpost if they're even able to, right? I can't even lower my arms back. They kind of have to come out to the sides because there's no motion or flexibility back there. But if you want to kind of dangle them for a minute and just feel into what that feels like, great. Oh. So feel the pressure that the pillow, the bolster, the blocks apply to the back of the heart space, and the expansion, the stretch really of the pectoral muscles in the chest, the gentle lifting of the breastbone. And what's cool about the pranayama, the Agni Raj, is that if you're breathing fully through all the chakras, what you might feel, I do, in this posture is that because of the stretch across the chest, because we're opening the heart and applying that lifted pressure to the back of the heart, you feel the breath, and it's hard to go past that. Kind of like when we were in the previous posture and the throat was really restricted. It's more challenging for the breath to pass that point. And so that's why we do it, because it's like a focal point for the breath, blood to travel to and to stay there, to see what needs to be supported. It's the same principle as Reiki. It's like you're using, instead of placing your hands over the positions in the body, you're allowing the body itself to be in a stretched position so that the breath can go there. So try it. Take a big inhale breath and see where the breath ends in the physical body when you're at the top of your inhale. For me, there's no question. It goes straight to the heart space and it won't go above. It almost like refuses to go into the throat, the shitty, right? It stays in the heart. And that's the basic premise behind all of our yoga asanas. We get the body into a position where we're directing the prana, life force energy, the breath, into a chakra center so that it can do its own work. And we don't have to do anything. Just like ki, pran, it does the work for us. We don't need to do the work. And especially when we're talking about our inner children, we don't want to do the work anyway. So, we're kids. It's like our breath can heal us. Our body is a brilliant machine. It is so intelligent, possesses such innate wisdom that all we really need to do is, just like this class, put ourselves into positions where we direct the prana into a specific area, and then we just see what we feel. Right? How do I feel when I send my breath into my heart space, into anahata? What do I see? What do I know to be true? And then what about when I contract and try to draw the breath away from the heart center? So I'm like drawing the belly back, drawing the ribs down, letting the chest really sink, letting my head fall back. Oh, you might feel some cracks or creaks or something around like breastplate and the backs of the shoulders. And then when I inhale again, I start from the root. I let the belly lift, I let the ribs expand, I let the chest just receive all that breath. And then when I feel the urge to exhale, I contract the belly and draw the ribs down. And let the chest sink. Oh, let the head be heavy. Really tugs on the sides. It's opening the whole space of the heart fully just by breathing powerfully, just by, oh darn, I don't know how many minutes went by. I forgot to restart the clock. So we'll just take another breath. Notice what came up for you. What's present? What makes your heart swell and swoon about your own memories of yourself, your own pride in this place, here and now. You can place both hands on your heart now, maybe on top of one another, maybe placed, vertically along the breastbone. And just for a moment, just ask, sweet one, sweet soul, what do you want to share? What do you want to brag about? What do you want to be proud of yourself for? What have you done? What did you do, sweetie? What did you do? Did you? That's so wonderful. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. Tell me more. Tell me more things you did that were so wonderful. So loving. Love you, sweet one. Ah. I'd love to hear all these things. So if you want to email me after class and tell me the things that you're really proud of yourself for, I'd really love to hear them. So please share. You can go to my website, breathewithbeth.com. You can email me at holisticintuitioncoach@gmail.com. Tell me all about your pride. Maybe it's something you did when you were a child. Maybe it's something just in this past year, days. What is so cool that you have done or created, or just the way that you've been, things that you've said to yourself, how you've treated yourself, how you've nourished yourself, what you've discovered about yourself. Those really special things that maybe even only you know, right? Something you've accomplished or mastered that it's not possible to share with others because it's so private. and sensitive. That's okay. And now we're going to shift kind of in a big way. So be gentle. Take your hands, kind of bring them underneath your legs, depending on where your legs have fallen, and bring them back to bent knees, soles of the feet on the surface. And then press into your heels, lift your hips up, shift them slightly to the left, and then roll over onto your right side. You're just going to move whatever you have set up underneath of you off to the side. We'll grab that cushion towards the end when we need something to sit on for our meditation. And we're going to come around, and this time you're going to need a flat pillow so that you can kneel on it and not hurt your knees. Or if you're on your bed, maybe you're just on the bed. I've got some leaves from the trail today. Take a big inhale, hips up, head up, shoulders back, chest spread forward like you're shining your light. Cow pose, and then cat. Exhale. Draw the belly back, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, arch the space between the shoulder blades. Cat pose. That's the full bottom of your exhale. 2 more. Inhale, cow, lift the head and the hips. Exhale, belly comes back first. Remember, everything starts at the root. Space between the shoulder blades. Let the head hang. Inhale to cow. Lift the head. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Lift the tailbone. Exhale, pelvic and abdominal contraction draws the belly back towards the spine. Top of the head comes down. Press into the floor. And he'll come back to center. We're going to thread the needle here. So we're going to exhale and take one arm, place it down on the floor. And if it's too uncomfortable to put all that pressure on the shoulder, then you can place your head on a block or on a pillow or on a bolster so that your arm can kind of hang. You know, when you're like laying on your side in bed and there's just too much pressure on the one arm, that like dead arm. So here you can place something under your head to kind of give the arm space. Or if you really want that really deep stretch, you can let your head come all the way down to the floor and let it rest and kind of bring all of that gravity weight into the shoulder. And we're going to be here for a couple minutes. Just breathing into the back. So this is how we open up the back of the heart space. So you can also continue breathing fully in that Agni Raj breath. Or maybe you just focus on expanding into the belly. It's easier here with the belly facing downward to breathe in and expand across the belly. It's a bit more challenging to exhale and draw the belly back. Inhale, fill. And exhale, contract. And if you want, you can go back to that Agni Raj breath, the breath that starts at the base of the spine, travels all the way up, even though this is a big twist at the shoulders, at the ribs. You might still feel the breath come all the way up through the throat, through ajna, back of the head, top of the head. Definitely going to feel a little bit more pressure on the side of the head that's down. Definitely stretching out the back of the shoulder, of the arm that's on the floor, back of the shoulder blade, the back of the heart. That's what we're going for. Just opening her up back there. If you can't do the full Agni Raj, maybe just stick with the focus on the belly. And maybe you lift this top arm up and bind with it for these last 10 seconds or so. Just opening up kind of the front of the deltoid, creating a little bit of instability in the body, balancing, and then bring the hand back down. Inhale to press back up. Just a tabletop position before we shift to the other side. So if you liked having the pillow or the block under your head, set it up on the other side and then thread the needle on the other side. It's a little tricky with the headset, not gonna lie. Get your arm positioned where it feels nice. The back of your palm is on the floor. Your top arm can be up and overhead. Your hips can be at whatever height feels nice. So if you can remember how high the hips were on the other side. So we're adding all this pressure, all the weight of gravity of the top of the torso down onto the shoulder, just letting everything kind of sink in. And if it's not enough for you, probably my wild Pita, my fire sign folks, you can always remove the block or the cushion and just have your head flush with the surface that you're on. But also remember, it's a restorative class. It doesn't have to hurt to work. It can just be gentle. It can feel nice. You can relax and sink into it. Big twist. We're feeling into the outside of the arm, back of the shoulder blade, and kind of tugging on the back of the heart. Trying to create some space there for ourselves to feel more. Again, if you'd like, the arm can reach out in front of you. It could also lift up. It could also bind by bending the elbow and reaching for the opposite hip, kind of giving the front of the deltoid, that top arm, a little bit of a bigger stretch, in contrast to the back of the shoulder blade on the lower arm. And on your next inhale, gently unbind. If you did take the bind, place your hand down and inhale. Come back up to center. We're going to come forward for a couple breaths into a cobra pose. Again, just stretching out the front of the hip flexors, drawing the shoulders back, pressing gently into the tops of the toes, maybe engaging the quads and the buttocks a little bit. This is our proud moment here. King or queen of Pride Rock. We're just gazing out over all of our creation. What have we done in our lives thus far that brings us that welling up of pride of place, of right now, right here? What have I achieved? You're wonderful. You're absolutely incredible. What are some of those things that you feel you've done so well? You've put in, calculated efforts. You've been smart about things. You've made good choices for yourself. You've kept yourself safe and abundant and prosperous and loved. These aren't always things that are in the material world, right? The job front. These can be ways that you really honor the truth of your being, of your purpose, of your light in the world. And maybe there are things that you've walked away from, not necessarily things that you've added to your life or, milestones that you've hit, but things that you've actually allowed yourself to release, to not have to live up to someone else's standard. or even have someone in your life that doesn't work for you. On your next exhale, use that engagement of the pelvic floor to draw your hips back into a child's pose as we prepare to come into our final inner child meditation. Deep exhale breath, drawing the belly back. With the thighs close to the ribs, it's a lot easier to pull the belly back, the ribs down. And then when you inhale, let the belly really expand and fill up, so much so that it launches off the thighs and comes forward into tabletop. And then situate yourself in a comfortable position. I love having a square pillow underneath so that my ankles can kind of be cushioned off the front of that point of the pillow. And I also love having something at the back. It can either be your block or your bolster or your pillow to give you a little height so the hips can be kind of separated from the thighs, and settle yourself in. So you can roll the head around a couple times in either direction. And we're going to open this meditation with Vastrika. So sit up nice and tall in your spine. Place your hands on your belly, the uncomfortable place. So the fingertips are down by the pubic bone, and the hip crease, and the thumb is over the belly button. You can't see mine. I have this sweater on. Inhale, let your belly get really big and fill up your palms. As you exhale, draw your belly back away from your palms. Again, release the pelvic floor muscles and inhale, fill up the belly. It's gonna get big. On your exhale, draw the belly back, engage the perineum muscle, the root lock, mula bandha, all the muscles of the pelvic floor, the low abdominals. Draw everything back. We're just gonna keep going. So cycle it at your own pace. Notice how long your inhale is, how long your exhale is. And let the body expand and contract in syncopation with the length of your breath. Fullest extent of the inhale, fullest capacity of breath. Your body is as big as it can get. Most engaged body, belly drawing back at the bottom of your exhale. Belly is moving, right? We got a lot of motion there. Take 3 more full in and out breaths. Fullest expansion of the belly, deepest contraction on the exhale. Repeat. One more. Nice. And then bring your hands to your lap, palms facing up in a gesture of receiving. From here, we're going to continue with the Vastrika breathing, just without the hands and not as pronounced in the movement of the belly. We're going to allow that breath and movement to subside a little bit. Allow the body to be a bit more natural. Allow the breath to be a bit more natural, no force. And we're starting to check in with what's present within us. What did these movements of the body, movement of the breath, and the energy within bring up? So imagine you're traveling into the inner recesses of your heart space. You travel down past your ribs and into your womb space. Regardless of your anatomy, you have a womb space. Go there now. And who might you find? You can walk around, you can explore. Perhaps you connect with that in utero part of you, that timeline, that dimension. And then continue. Experience being birthed into the world. Maybe here you want to stay and explore what it's like to be a newborn again. Perhaps you travel beyond and become a baby in the world with your parents. Maybe there's something to explore there. Perhaps it's the toddler in you, crawling, touching, feeling, learning. Maybe it's the adolescent beginning to walk and play and experiment with speech. Maybe it's the middle years, slowly beginning to form a self. Maybe the teen years, interacting with others, developing a distinct personality, figuring out your likes and dislikes, what triggers you, what elates you, and on and on. What is it like for you to be you in these different phases of your development? Which part of you needs attention and love and care to be seen and heard now? Go to that stage of you, that age, that timeline part, and meet your inner child, your inner children, maybe your inner triplets. Give yourself grace to allow the vision to formulate for you. Perhaps you're gifted with clairvoyance or sight. You see yourself. Perhaps it's more of a feeling, a knowing, an understanding. Meet that inner part of you that just needed to be witnessed and perhaps still does. Approach yourself at this age as you would appropriate to that age. Say sweet, loving things to yourself that yourself at this stage would receive, would understand. Ask if you can join them for just a short while. Listen. Listen to how they talk, what they talk about, if they're open to bringing you into their world or if they're more closed off. Perhaps there's something they want to play and they want someone with them. Perhaps they want to show you something that they're proud of, that no one has ever seen, no one else has ever known. Perhaps they need to cry or be soothed. Maybe they just want to play. Play is children's natural state and the way they communicate. Let them talk to you through non-verbal cues. Tell them that you are here for them now and that they can invite you to come back to be with them at any time. See if there's anything they wish to share with you for you to know or to ask of you. What is it that they love to do? They brought you into their world today. What's the most fun they have? When are they proud of themselves? Decide with your inner child how they can let you know they want you to come back again. What will be the medium of communication? Let them know you are leaving now, but they can call upon you at any time. Thank them for the fun, the play, the enjoyment, or just their sharing with you whatever it was that they needed. Express your gratitude for letting you join them in their world. See yourself now in this world that you share with your inner child or children, and see yourself sitting here in perhaps a cross-legged Padmasana, lotus pose, or something else. Just witness your whole being with this part of you in the unseen. As you notice yourself, notice where your breath has gone. Try to bring it back to the belly. One final time, place your hands on your belly. Release the pelvic floor muscles and fill up the belly really big in your hands. And then exhale, contract and draw the belly back. This last time, inhale and fill up. Open your arms out to the sides, let your head tilt back. And exhale. Gather all of the love in the universe and wrap it into yourself with your inner child. And rock and hold yourself for a moment. Thank yourself for all the lessons and learning and care, fun. And finally, bring your hands to your heart center and bow your head in honor of your adult self and all that you've been through, all that you've accomplished and achieved and been, done, saw, learned, navigated, survived, and thrived through. And all that has passed and all that will with you and your inner child or children. I honor you. I honor your whole being, all of it. What was, what is, and what will be. This or something greater for the good of all concerned. Gently begin to flutter your eyes open and come back to the space. It is a great time to make note of things that you're proud of or what you've learned from visiting with your inner child. Thanks so much for being here. I'm here to support you if you have questions or want to dive deeper into journeying or setting up rituals or consistency with your inner children, practices to help bring play into your life, to bring pride of all that you've done. I'm here for you. Go to my website, send me an email. You know how to reach me. I hope you enjoyed this Leo moon restorative with really powerful breath work and playful as well. I will see you next Tuesday, same time, same place. We'll explore another moon sign. Take care, beautifuls. Keep loving you.